Hello and welcome to Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. I am your host, Janette Burke, and we have Liz Scott, the Business Firestarter, North America's business growth coach, in the house with us tonight. She's actually a guru, and she's mentors women in business, and we are having this segment is Women in Business. So I want to welcome to the show Liz Scott.
Thanks so much for having me, Janette. I'm really glad to be here.
And I'm really glad to have you. So Liz, I want to just get right into it, and I want you to tell me exactly why you chose to become a business coach that really specializes in marketing, and why you chose to only work with women.
Yeah, so I do work with a few men, but maybe they're like-minded women in spirit. I was in the corporate world for 25 years as a sales and marketing vice president, and really just sort of felt soulless. You know, maybe I was burnt out a bit. I'd been doing it for such a long time, but I didn't feel really connected to it in any way. So when I left the corporate world, I really looked at what did I like to do, and what did I want to do, as my friend Susan says, on the back nine of your career. So, you know, I loved mentoring, I loved growing my team, I loved watching people grow. And my original thought was that I was going to be a leadership coach and consultant. But there's a lot of support for executive levels. There isn't a lot of support in the entrepreneurial community, or at least there wasn't as much when I got started. So it became pretty clear to me that small business owners are very passionate about what they do, and there's a lot of people who have great ideas, but they don't know how to sell, and they don't know how to market themselves. And so that's why I decided for the last 4.5 years to work with small business owners and women entrepreneurs.
So specifically, what are the key challenges that small business owners face in what we have an expression, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
But in particular in sales and marketing, what is it that is like the common ground, that the problems that they share in not being able to know sales and marketing?
Yeah, so I think, you know, in the sales side of it, there's a lot of women who feel very uncomfortable selling. So you get that sort of sleazy car salesman. And so what I try to do is get them to reframe that so they start to think about serving and solving. So if somebody said to you, hey, yeah, serving and solving. So if somebody said to you, hey, you know what, I've got a problem, will you help me? You would say, of course I will. And that's really all we're doing in this sales process. So that's the first thing. On the marketing side, it's usually one of two things. They are either so overwhelmed by the sheer amount of things that they could do
to market.
Mm-hmm. Do they write a blog? Do they, you know, get a website? What kind of pricing do they have? What kind of logo? So marketing is very broad. Mm-hmm. So they either get completely overwhelmed, so they do a little bit of everything and they're not really successful. Or on the flip side, they become almost paralyzed because there's so many things to do, they don't know what to do, so they end up doing nothing.
Now, how can you pinpoint exactly what needs to be done?
Yeah, so for my newer entrepreneurs, I have a group program that I designed specifically around the things that I know that they need to do to get their first $50,000 in revenue and get them on their way to being a successful entrepreneur. And I built that program around just working with entrepreneurs and seeing the same pitfalls, and also giving them a roadmap, because new entrepreneurs need a lot of support because it's scary. For my VIP one-on-one clients that I work with, we really tailor it to what is it that they're trying to accomplish next in their business.
And let's talk a little bit more about you.
Okay.
You've been in business now as the Firestarter for how long?
4.5 years.
And what are some of the things you have done to market your business, and where have you seen the greatest results?
Yeah, so for me personally, and I talk a lot with my clients about what's your zone of excellence, which is, you know, what is it that you're really good at? and then how do you dovetail that into your marketing strategy? So for me personally, I love to talk. So I do a lot of public speaking all across North America to women and entrepreneurs and small business owners. So for me, that's really the key to getting new clients and growing my business. But that may not be the case for other entrepreneurs. They may love to write, so then they should write a book or write a blog or do ghostwriting. So it really depends on what your zone of excellence is.
So today, marketing, as you started to say a few minutes ago, is that marketing is a very big umbrella, and it's really, if you take it and niche it down, there's like various aspects of marketing. But today, the internet is a huge part of marketing for any small business owner, not just because it's a great way to reach people, but also because of cost. So how do you basically bring the digital world into marketing for them?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And you know, social media obviously is a huge part of establishing your brand within a digital footprint. You know, I think there's a couple of things. One is, how much time are you really spending on social media on your business? Because we all know, we watch those funny cat videos and we look at what our friends are doing. And you know, the issue with social media is it can chew up a lot of an entrepreneur's time when they're really not doing social media for their business. The second thing is, it's really about engaging and creating that community. So you can post and post and post all day long, but if nobody's interacting with you and commenting and liking, it's really about engaging in that dialogue. Because now what social media has done is it's created a market where people want to be talked to like it's exactly what we're doing right now. So it's one-on-one, not one-to-many, which is the sort of 1970s model of, you know, television advertising. People now want to know who you are and what your brand stands for, and they want to get to know you a little bit before they will actually make a purchase from you.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, hey, you know, look what I do. And,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's all about making people's story come alive and totally in the brand. So let's get back to you, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about your personal story and some of the pitfalls that you see over and over again when you meet with clients.
Yeah, so, you know, I think for my personal story, it's interesting because I was a sales and marketing VP, everybody said, oh, well, you know, Liz, it'll be so easy for you to market your own business. And, you know, but it isn't, because when you work for a huge brand like Bell, or even if you work for a smaller software company, you're not marketing yourself.
No, you're marketing them.
You're marketing them. So to step out into a world, and this is true for me, but it's also true for every entrepreneur, to step out into the world without that protective armor or shield of another person's brand can be very scary and challenging. So I think that's one of the things that people have to overcome pretty quickly when they run their own business, is that they are going to be front and center of their marketing campaigns.
So, not to sound jaded,
yeah,
but I want to bring this up because I think a lot of women, including myself, who are running businesses, have kind of hit these, you know, coaching programs and spent a lot of money and maybe didn't get what they were looking for. Now, granted, a lot of the coaching programs that we know of are American-based and may not work for a Canadian marketplace. But I'd like to know how you'd handle things differently. What is different about your process? How do you really help entrepreneurs see and get results?
Yeah, so that's a great thing, and there's a lot of things about the industry that I'm part of that I don't really love either. So the first thing that I do is, even in my group programs, which are customized specifically to newer entrepreneurs, they get one-on-one meetings with me as part of the program, and they get full telephone and email support. So I've been in some of those American programs, I've taken them, I know that that's very different. You get a pre-record and you get maybe a Facebook group or something like that. You don't get any real one-on-one time. So that one-on-one time is where the magic happens, where the breakthroughs happen for the newer entrepreneurs. So that's very different. I don't know of any other program that's a group program priced as affordably as mine is that includes one-on-one time. And for my VIP one-on-one clients, it's completely customized to what it is that they want to accomplish in their next level of growth. So it's not cookie cutter, it's not one size fits all. It's very tailored to what specifically do you want to do next in your business.
Now, with your great, vast knowledge and experience, how can you tell when somebody comes to you as a client with their respective problems if they are a sustainable business?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I usually do what I call your heart, mind, wallet check. So are you super passionate about what you want to do in your business? Because if yes, then that's going to get you through the hard times, because there's always hard times. The mind piece really is, you know, is there market demand for what it is that you're offering? And then the third piece is wallet, which is, are people willing to pay for what it is that you're offering? So if you have all three of those things, then you're more likely to be successful as an entrepreneur. But, you know, I've seen people become highly successful that I never would have imagined, and I've seen other people that I thought they would go all the way, and whether they became afraid or they just weren't willing to push through that, I'm not really sure. So it's hard to say, really.
Now, how can you help somebody transition if their business isn't following the pattern that they thought it would or you thought it would, and they come back to you and they say it's not working, maybe I'm not meant to be a self-employed individual? Have you ever had a situation like that where you help somebody navigate that?
I have. And I've had a couple of people that I ended up saying, you know what, you're better off at this point to go back and get a full-time job. And they did, because they had a lot of blocks and issues and they just weren't ready to fully embrace it. I think you have to look at where is the market going and adapt to that. You know, if you're someone who's been in business for a long, long time and then all of a sudden your sales drop off, what's changed? You know, what's the dynamic that's changed with either the market or the market demand?
Okay, so you can help people transition and get through these sort of hurdles and regroup the business to make it more economical or more profitable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so who is your ideal target market and why do you choose to work with these people?
Okay. So my first group, as I mentioned a couple of times, are people who are in what I call the startup phase. So they haven't really made their first $50,000 in revenue yet. They may have been in business for a year or two, but they're just not getting that kind of traction. I like upbeat, happy, motivated, energetic people who, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, they would score themselves a 10, or I've even had people score themselves 10 plus. Those are the people that are really going to make it. My other target audience is small business owners who are what I would say plateaued in their business, and they really want to push through and get some strategies and systems and support so that they can grow their business to the next level. Whether that means increasing a new product or service, moving into a new geography, launching a new line. You know, it can be various ways that you want to achieve your growth, or it could just be, I'm ready to hire a team now, and how do I do that? And how do I create replicable processes so that they're not constantly reinventing the wheel?
Well, I think now is a good sort of segment into, or segue into, okay, so you and I have been working together on my business since November 2017, and you've helped me see the light in different ways. And I'm a unique business. It's not like, you know, we can compare it to a lot of other businesses. But I would have to say for me, working with you, and I just want to give you a little shout out, is that Number one, I always find you very approachable, and I think that's extremely important in a relationship with a coach. And the second thing is that I found that you were able to roll with the punches the same way that I was, and really give me perspective on, think about this, do that. And I did not take anything you said lightly. I took it all to heart, and I put everything you said into play. Mm-hmm. And I really found that having you on my side, or actually a part of my team, because a coach is part of the team.
Yes, absolutely.
Was really advantageous to me, because I had I had that sounding board to go mm-hmm. to. And often, as women entrepreneurs, we're juggling so many other things, our families, our homes, our kids, our parents, and our businesses. And it's not easy to have like a check-in only for yourself. You need that other check-in. Yeah. With somebody who has some seasoned experience like yourself. So I think you've been great, and I've really enjoyed working with you, and I do recommend Liz for other people, not just because she's on my show, but because I really do believe that you have a synergy with your clients, and it's not fake. It's quite real, and it's really refreshing, because I myself have taken, over 10, 20,000, maybe more in US funds and coaching. And I always felt that they always told me what they want me to be. They made me something I didn't want to be. Mm-hmm. They didn't listen to me. They forced things upon me. Right. And then the little bit of time that I might have had to get one question answered was like, oh, that's it, time's up, blown off now. And Liz, you never do that. So I think you're different. I think you're special. You're a good coach.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's next for you, Liz? What are you going to be accomplishing? What do you have coming out?
I always have stuff on the go, so I'm doing a lot of speaking. September, October are really busy for me. I'm starting a new Facebook Live show called The Marketing Soapbox, where I'm going to be able to have guests and do tips and tricks for entrepreneurs on marketing and sales. So I think that's going to be very exciting. And just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to help as many people as I can.
And there's a group program and a one-to-one program, and if we want to learn more, please tell us how we can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways. My website is affinitycoach.com. I am going to send a link. They're going to put it in the bottom of the recording, so that anybody who's interested in having a complimentary strategy session with me, I am happy to do that. Just fill out the form. We can chat about what you're doing, where you're going, what you want to do. Or, of course, you can always just reach out to me by email, which is lscott@affinitycoach.com.
Okay, say that one more time, a little slower.
Or they can email me at lscott@affinitycoach.com.
Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
It's been riveting. And thank you for being with us. Please remember to like and comment and share all our posts with your family and friends and your fellow female entrepreneurs. This is Janette Burke signing off for Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. You will find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Vimeo, YouTube. You name it, we're there. Hashtag Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. And until next time, continue to be fabulous.